So some of you probably remember from the last Between the Frames episode that I was making this little display, this diorama, I guess. I decided to put the Gimli X-Men in here from the early 90s, X-Men #1 variety. And added a few little things to it. Nothing too much, just like these modular pieces that I had been working on. Got like an I-beam back there, some tires, just some random like street level like rubble kind of stuff. And put in some figures. This guy keeps falling because this Cyclops is old and frail. But yeah, I got like an ACBA type display going here. It's not the greatest ACBA by any means because you can just see all the stands and like all this kind of stuff. So I would work on that if I was doing any kind of a real video display. But for right now, it's just an interesting way to display figures. I could always swap out the X-Men and put the Avengers in at some point if that's what I wanted to do. I got Magneto saying whatever he's saying here. That's actually a Thanos cutout from a comic book, but I figure it's easy enough to just have Magneto be going mad like that too. But yeah, I just wanted to show a little update on this piece because this was one of the things in the last video, and just let people know that this had been completed and is getting used. This was a project I wanted to do in like about a day, so I just had some leftover scrap foam from random various other projects that I've been working on. And so I decided to put together this little corner alleyway deal that you've seen, if you've been watching some of these videos, you've seen Al Figures do a couple of these. Not quite this small, I don't think, but he's done a few like smaller like corner pieces like this. So I took a little inspiration from that and various other people on the Dial Structure group and decided to try my hand at this. So basically we just got this little corner area kind of themed from like the Arkham games with the way that vent is up there and the poster. The posters, I'm trying to remember who it was that told me this on Dial Structure. I don't want to say somebody's name and get it wrong, so if you're the guy that told me, let me know and I'll put your name in the video somewhere. But somebody told me how to do these posters. Is like you basically just print them out on regular paper and then you could dip them in like just black coffee. And then what I did was like pat them dry and then just took a hairdryer and like dried them that way so they were totally dry. And that gives it like a weathered look, like it's been, you know, through months or years or whatever of just like rain and dirt and whatever else goes on in these alley settings. And so I did that with the Arkham City like poster and then this little, you know, electrical box too, which is just something to kind of like color it up a little bit. And it's not like flat gray and red anymore. Now I had this totally done and then I made the mistake of using this clear acrylic sealer on it. But I held it like too close. I was like probably about anywhere from like 8 to 10 inches away when really you're supposed to be like about 1.5 feet away. And that's why like up here in the corner, I don't know if you can see, it like ate away some of the paint. So you live and you learn. I'm glad I did it with this little one and not the big building project I was working on. But again, just like watching all the other guys' videos and all the things you learn, this is all collapsible. We've got, do it with one hand hopefully. There you go. It's all built together with magnets. I got them in the bottom here and in the top corner there. So all comes apart, all flattens out, and you can, you know, store it pretty easily now, just like that. But yeah, so that was like one day, the other day that I was working on that, and pretty cool how it came out, I think. So here's a progress report on the other building I was working on in the last video. You can see I got the windows added in. These are all like plastic pieces from like action figure, like the card that all the figures always come on. I got this done in here too, and that's just a red piece of paper behind it. But yeah, I think the last time I showed it, only this front part had been done. I added the roof. It's just a flat base with like a little bit of trim around that side and on the front. And this is the sidewall here that I hadn't started yet, so let's go over this. I left this window over here. I put in some of the carding, but it's just like the broken, you can see it probably better down here. Just I cut it up to look like broken glass, so that way you can still have figures like leaning in and out here or whatever onto the fire escape. This ladder is just held on with like twist ties right now. I want to find a little nicer looking way to make it, you know, so it's still adjustable. But right now, it totally comes off, so you could have it like reach down to like floor level or like all the way up to like the roof level. I went with the Arkham City poster again. The same thing that I put in that little building that I just showed, or not building, but that little corner that I just showed. Just the same technique. Did a little bit of like, I just ripped it to make it, you know, look a little more worn out. And I did the same thing over here with the do not enter sign or whatever, but that totally ripped when I was messing with it. But I was like, whatever, I'll just stick it on there, and if I hate it, I'll just put another piece over top of it. But, so yeah, that's the total exterior of the building right there. The thing measures about 27 inches from the top all the way to the bottom. And it's 25 inches from like this floor piece, and then this border here is just another 2 inches. So, let's go inside. Sorry if the lighting's not great over here. I decided to just go with a lab setting on the interior, so that's why the walls are all just flat gray. And when I eventually get a base for this whole thing, like the floor, I'm going to have like more of a laboratory style floor. And then this thing is just a gray beam that basically holds up the second level. And what I'll show, come around this side here, this piece here is, this gray wall is actually like a thin piece of foam core that goes all the way up and helps support the second floor basically. So that way, like this second floor here, I can like put pressure on it, and all the way to that back corner, it's like resting on that. And of course, it's also magnetized inside this corner and this corner over here. So it's got these two magnets, plus this piece is magnetized here so that it's got support from this corner. So you're basically supported on all four corners. And up here, I decided to go with like a rundown, beat up, like apartment style, like criminal hideout, I guess you would call it. So I went with the red walls just because I like having it a little be something different. Like I don't want to just have it like a black wall or like plain white or anything. And you know, the boards are just craft sticks that I either painted up or just whatever the case may be. And like I said before, these ones over here are broken so that figures can get out to the fire escape. These craft sticks are what's holding this whole thing up. So, I mean, they're only held up by the two. So, you could put a figure on here. It might, well, it will definitely support a figure, but I wouldn't, like, leave it on there just because I don't want, like, the sticks to break off or anything. But, yeah, for the support beam here, I made it look like a old, you know, try and get it without a glare, like an old piece of wood that's the support in this one. And, again, it's magnetized to this corner. For the floor, I went with like a hardwood floor design because I like the way that looks, and plus it's a little something different from the rest of like the stone and then the lab area. I wanted something a little bit more unique, and I like how it came out. It's the first time I ever did a hardwood floor, so I think it came out pretty nice. I'm not trying to like sit here and talk myself up or anything, but I dig it. And then the roof is not magnetized yet, but I'm gonna have magnets like in there just so it's like all held together solid. And so that's it so far. I got a lot of progress done over the course of a long time because I only work on this like little by little. And just like everything else I've been doing, it's all totally like collapsible. Let's show this off here. This, like I said, is just held on by that. Those slide right through there. So that totally comes off. And then, you know, whatever. This, not magnetic yet, but will be. And we can just take this apart piece by piece, you know. It's part of the cool thing about all this stuff is I don't have to have a giant freaking 2-foot tall building in the floor of my apartment. Just take it apart just like that. So now instead of being 27 inches tall, it's more like 6 or 8 depending on if you're going over here. And then whatever this adds to it. So yeah, that's what I've been working on as far as scenery and sets and dioramas over the past couple weeks, I would say. That's all I have prepared, I can't even speak, for this video, but stay tuned because one of the things I want to do is do a video about like the Godzilla movie that we just made, me and my roommate, and show off some of those sets and some of those figures and stuff because those are in a totally different scale, obviously. So hopefully I'll have that up maybe this weekend if I'm lucky. Alright, well this has been Captain McKay. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't. Shoot me a line if you got any questions about any of this stuff. Alright, take care.